Jay, welcome to Go For Side Effects. How are you doing?
Doing good, sir.
All right, let's let everybody know what branch of service you were in, when you went in, and where you were at during the Desert Shield, Desert Storm.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I'm a Marine. And I was in from 86 to 92. I was actually part of the second main wave that went over right at the first of the year of 91. I ended up staying there in Jebel with Miles 29. That's Marine Aviation Logistics Squadron 29. And we actually done the intermediate support for the helicopters in theater. One of the main operations that we supported was Task Force Ripper. That was one of them. So we supported several other of the task force missions also.
Wow, that is fantastic. And I don't know if you got to listen to any other podcasts I've been doing, because what I like to go through is, I know we talked on the phone and everything. What type of issues, I guess I would say, are you having as far as medical and stuff?
Okay. Main thing with me, it's I've been diagnosed with MS. I've had it for years. They just finally got the diagnosis back in 2012, and then from there it just correlated. Finally got I was able to get my sleep apnea rated, and then got my PTS rated. So then with that, then it was because of some things that happened at work with the accident there. I'm actually out on VA, the 100% IU.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm rated at 80, but I'm paid at 100% because of the unemployability.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, at least they're doing something for you.
Yeah.
And everything. And like the last time I talked, with Greg and everybody, they're kind of having some problems, getting in with the VA. But your experience has been a little bit different with the VA.
Yes. With me, I feel that I've been very fortunate, because I've actually had people that's come into my life, that's actually helped me. And I just happened to be and meet the right person at the right time.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
That is great.
See, like we talked earlier, like when I got diagnosed with MS. See, I went into work and on my way into work, I had the double vision. I had lost all my feeling and strength and everything on my right side. I could barely speak.
Wow.
And went in, and I was like, told my foreman, I said, "Hey, I'm messed up." So I go in and see the medical at work, and I tell the nurse, I said, "Listen," I said, "something's not right." I said, "I didn't go out and have a good time. This is what's happening." And I gave her those symptoms. She's like, "Eh." So she went and started doing the STOP protocol for stroke. And she was thinking I was having a stroke at the time. So from there, they sent me to the local hospital. And that's where I went and had tests. And they're like coming through, they're trying to figure out what's going on, because he's not having a stroke. So then they finally done the MRIs and everything. So then, like about 2-3 o'clock in the morning, the neurologist comes in, and he informs me, talks to me at my bedside, and he says, "I'm sorry." I says, "I got to inform you, with some good news and bad news." He said, "Well, the good news is you don't have a stroke." Okay. He says, "But, with the further tests and stuff, you've got MS." So I just kind of looked him straight in his face and said, "Okay, I knew something was up." And so then we got to talking. I told him, I says, "Yeah, I'm gonna go for a vet, from participated in Desert Storm." He's like, "Oh." So then he says, "So I guess we both have a disdain for Saddam Hussein." And I kind of looked at him and said, "What do you mean?" He says, "Yeah, he was actually a soldier in the Iraq-Iran war."
Oh,
And
wow.
he had seen and had treat some patients and stuff there, but he's seen a lot of the kids and the adults and stuff, the time before we came, from the difference between the two wars. he's seen, a lot of people were having neurological side effects and stuff like that from the chemicals and things that they were using at that time during the Iraq-Iran war. And he was seeing the same stuff when we came over for Desert Storm.
Wow. Now that's what we're about to get into.
Uh-huh.
Let's get into the chemical part of it. And I want everybody to kind of hear that story about, what me and you were talking about earlier. I won't do any spoilers, so I want you to tell the story.
Okay. It goes off of my introduction where my time in the desert was actually spent in the Port of Jebel. I was on the SS Wright, which what that is, that's a merchant marine ship. It's actually one of the old World War II Liberty ships.
Mm-hmm.
And what it is, the Marine Corps went in and set up these mobile intermediate support functions for the fixed wing and the rotary wing. And so that's what I did. I stayed aboard the SS Wright when I was in port. So, my first couple of days there, I turned around and actually put a fire on the boat when we were getting everything loaded up and set up. They had I don't know if you know about the like the cargo vans.
Yeah.
Sort of like, that's where we were working out of, and they were bringing them on board the boat and getting them all hooked up and everything. So we had one of the big electrical buses short out and blow up on us on the boat. So me and one other Marine actually put that out.
Oh, that sucks, man.
Yeah.
Ain't not like having a ship on fire.
No.
Now,
but we were recognized for that a couple of days later, and that were me and Sergeant O'Connor. He was the other Marine that helped me out when we was putting out the fire. We got recognized for that at the formation, and then also one of the other Marines got recognized because he had actually caught some of the Iraqi reconnaissance personnel in the port, taking notes and stuff on our movements and everything going on. And then at that same formation, we got issued and was ordered to take the PB pills.
Oh, there you go. Right there. Yeah. And what's so funny about that is that, a lot of the guys I talked to that took them pills,
mm-hmm.
They don't realize that it actually talks about it will cause neuropathy.
Yes.
And nerve damage later on.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, no wonder why they scooped them up from a lot of the guys and just said, hey, you know what? Hey, don't take
Jay
these.
Brown just posted something to some of the groups earlier on some more documents that he dropped with the chemicals that they put in the uniforms, especially like if you got issued some of the chocolate chip uniforms before you came home, mm-hmm. or while you were in theater. And even if you went and put your clothes and everything in the laundry system, they got coated with this material that was supposed to alleviate the nerve agents. And with the two of them, when the PB pills, the DEET, and all the other stuff combined with the chemical that was in our uniforms, that was another.
Wow, I didn't know that at all.
Yeah, Jim Brown just posted that to the two Facebook groups today.
Really?
Yes. And the thing about it, they knew about this stuff back in as early as 88.
Okay. Wow, that is something else.
Yeah.
Now, I know there's some more stories that you're going to tell here that's probably going to shock a lot of people, which, let's talk about the uranium.
Okay. Yeah, the main thing with the depleted uranium, see, at the Port of Jebel, talking to you, said, that was one of the main ports of entry, bringing munitions and stuff into port. Okay. And I've actually got one of my buddies I work with that actually helped me out too. He was Army, and and he actually would transport a lot of that ammunition and stuff that contained the depleted uranium. And he's got a lot of issues and stuff like that. And you look at it, and if you go and look at history, say like if you go back to look at the people from Hiroshima and Nagasaki, okay, and look at their radiation poisoning sickness that they dealt with, and a lot of the vets are having a lot of those same issues.
Right.
It's the low level. It's not where you've got the persistent issues that build up later on. It's not like the acute factor where you're going to die right then within a few months.
Yeah, you're just going to have digestive system problems, nerve problems, and
yes,
a lot of guys are coming back that Parkinson's and dementia and all kinds of stuff. And I think that's the part that's frustrating to me, is because a lot of us know what all went on out there. A lot of us know, everywhere and everything that has happened. But the problem is the VA has two different systems, just like I talked last week. They got your doctor side, and then they got that don't talk to your doctor side.
Yeah.
And then we have the outside that actually have a research team that, for the Desert Storm vets, there's a lot of research being done. And I know Denise is on here, and I will be bringing her on after a while, after me, you're talking, because she's going to, so everybody needs to kind of stay tuned to that. But I think the thing that gets me the most about everything is why isn't our government taking care of business?
My hypothesis on that, and a lot of the other people that I know, it's with everything that we did over there, going back, from the Iraq and Iran war, where we went and sold a lot of the munitions and the chemical agents to Iran through the Reagan era, all the way up to Bush when we had Desert Storm, was if you go in and look at the BWC, the Biological War Council, Biological Weapons Convention.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, we were actually in violation a lot of those things, of the distribution, the storage, the disposal of the chemical and biological weapons.
Oh, okay. Sure.
Yeah, and then like when we went over there and during the air campaign where they were bombing a lot of those facilities, okay, and it was releasing all those agents into the atmosphere, and where it contaminated, thousands of square miles of land and water.
Well, actually, millions. It ain't thousands. It's 1.3 million.
Yeah. But, and it's like they don't want to admit to it, because if they did, it would actually decimate the U.S. As a whole.
Right.
Destroy it.
Okay, yeah, could you imagine the payouts that would have to pay? Yeah. And I mean, no difference between us than the Vietnam, the Korean, World War II. And I mean, the only ones who are going to take care of us is us. I mean, plain and simple. And, we're one big family. We're all there together. We're all exposed to a lot of shit. Had to think about it for a second on Facebook. We're exposed to a lot of shit. All right, I'll just say it. But some people I found don't have them issues, but most do.
Yeah.
And so, and also, I think you talked about the water over there, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit. So,
yeah, no, I don't think we talked about the water there. What I mentioned was with a lot of stuff that we deal with, especially with the Marines, is because of the time of service.
Yeah,
a lot of us actually fall in line with the dates for the Camp Lejeune contaminated water presumptives. So yeah, they've got some issues where basically, if somebody wants to know about it, they can look it up. But if they watch the movie Aaron Brockovich,
right,
it's basically the same thing, except for all this stuff is on military bases.
right. I mean, but like ships, they make their own drinking water. How do you know all the contaminants? Some didn't get through there. I mean, overall, when I hear people talk about anything about shots or anything like that, I always tell them, look, anthrax.
Yeah. I talked with my neurologist on that, and when I told him about it, they've actually got on record, they've got lots that were contaminated, and they were issued and given to the troops.
Yeah, and 35,000 troops are suspected to have died from it.
Yes.
I mean, that's on VA.gov. That's why I tell people, go to VA.gov. VA.gov's not going to lie to you about it if it's on there.
Yeah.
I mean,
the claims for those, on the vaccine injuries for those, and the VA is not going to come right out and say, yeah, we did this.
Right.
And say, yeah, it was on this. What you have to do, you have to reverse engineer the stuff. You have to go in and locate the lot numbers and then figure out where those lots were sent to.
Right.
And then go from there.
Good luck finding them burnt paperwork.
Yeah, that's the thing of it is, our records are supposedly destroyed, but the VA does have them all.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the thing. A lot of people that I'm starting to talk to now have MS.
Yes.
That's the one thing. Matter of fact, guess I'm going to have on next week also has MS.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, how is all this, coincidence? No.
See, that's one of the things with MS. See, like when they done the thing for the Gulf War illness, or how they change it the name so many times, like the multi-symptom illness and stuff.
Yeah.
See, they wanted to not include MS because it was partially understood. See, with a lot of the symptoms that we have, they can't find a diagnosis. See, that's the thing with, if you go to the civilian world, okay, they're going to give you a diagnosis.
Right.
So, yeah,
now,
the guys are.
Now, they may give you a diagnosis. It don't mean they're going to put that inside your chart. So anytime you're diagnosed, guys and gals, please get it put in your chart. The other thing is get your medical records. That's why I tell everybody. Mm-hmm. It took me 1.5 years to get mine, but I filed for them. But I also made a lot of copies of my stuff.
Yes.
Because I knew whenever I was having the digestive problems in there and everything I was experiencing, I was like, shit, I made copies of this. Something ain't right. But here was the kicker. When I first got out of the service, and VA automatically called me, hey, come on down here. I went down there, and this doctor, he pretty much gave me like doom and gloom crap. Mm-hmm. Man, by the time you're 45, you're going to start having some serious issues and blah, 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 blah. And then another guy walks in and hands me this clipboard. He goes, I need you to sign at the bottom. And I'm starting to read. He's like, no, just sign down there. And that doctor walked up, picked it up. He goes, don't sign that. And I was like, why? And he said, because right there it says that you're admitting that you were never exposed to any type of chemical.
Oh.
I handed that clipboard back. I was like, hell no. I'm not signing this crap.
Mm-hmm. And I didn't have that happen to me.
Yeah. Well, this was Houston, but back then in the 90s, Houston didn't have the facility it has now.
Yeah.
In which I'm very grateful. And I tell everybody, it doesn't matter what side of the political spectrum y'all are on. The VA got better under Obama. Mm-hmm. When he started building the facilities. VA improved under Trump. And right now, I'm hearing horror stories that were even under Trump, and I'm hearing horror stories right now going on under Biden. So either way, it doesn't matter. Our Congress and senators need to get off their dead asses and get this stuff fixed.
Yeah,
Everybody.
see, I've noticed, like you said, I've noticed some changes. Ever since I went back to the VA after I went in '93, early '93, went and done the Gulf War exam, registry exam.
Right.
Basically, booted out the door. It's like, don't come back. And I waited from there until like 2012 before I went back to the VA.
Yeah.
And
and that's just it. And so these guys that came out when they first came out, like I was very unfortunate to have a kidney stone while I was in.
mm-hmm.
And I was unfortunate to be diagnosed with GERD. I was unfortunate. At that time, I was unfortunate.
Yeah.
Because I started having the issues. I'm fortunate now because I'm not fighting like everybody else has to.
Yeah.
But why do we have to fight? If you walk in and that doctor says, "Oh, look here, you got IBS, you have a digestive system disorder." Back then, it wasn't IBS; it was digestive system disorder.
Yeah.
If you have this, and this, and they're under the presumptives,
yeah,
then you need to make sure it's all documented. And you need to make sure they put it in your progress notes. And if you have to, go to an outside doctor, get an outside doctor to diagnose you with the stuff that's going on. If the VA's not going to, then submit it in under a claim. And I am working with a few vets right now on that's going on right now with them. But I know you have more to say. I'm sorry to cut you off, but go ahead.
No, you're, we got talking with the VA. Yeah, with me, it was, like I said, I've kind of noticed recently, there's some changes going on. Those, like, some of my appointments of stuff are starting to get canceled a lot more than, than normally would.
Right.
And it's like, okay. And it's like, wait a minute, I need to watch this.
Now, Jay, we got somebody writing in right now. It's John. And by the way, John's going to be on Thursday.
Yes.
But he said, are the children of vets showing symptoms?
Okay. We've actually, with one of my friends, the one he actually lives close by me.
Uh-huh.
The one that I told you that done the rollover. Yes, his daughter actually went and played in his Foot Locker and sea bag when he came back home. Okay. Now she's got all kinds of issues. Basically, she's basically allergic to every kind of medication that they try to put her on.
Wow.
Yeah, it's one of those things of if the doctor goes in, you might have this rare chance of getting such and such. And she's at the point, oh, okay, don't tell me anything. Because as soon as you tell me that, that's going to happen.
Right. Now, I saw a guy send a message in, and he talked about all of his kids having all kinds of tumors, I mean, all kinds of stuff, MS, yes. I mean, all kinds of stuff. And, like, I can't say 100% about, my children, but I know my daughter is showing symptoms of stuff that I had.
Yes.
Like, it's like, it doesn't make sense. And the doctors can't figure it out. The doctors are like, hey, I don't know.
It's kind of, what we're seeing is the beginning of the same thing happened with the Vietnam vets with the Agent Orange, where it's passed on to the next generation.
Right.
Sometimes it may skip and end up, their grandchildren would have issues. Not just their children.
Okay.
And there's actually been some stuff where they actually getting some help for the Vietnam vets' children and grandchildren.
Right. And with
that's very limited.
Right. And for us and stuff, like another question is there an ability to connect to my service? My daughter also has some issues, separate issues. Just curious. Mm-hmm. No, there isn't right now. No. But there should be. I do believe that if children from the Vietnam era were born having defects from what the Agent Orange caused, and they should look into it, research it, and do everything they can, then yeah, there should be.
Well, that's the same thing with the Camp Lejeune contaminated water that they have. Okay. A good movie that you can watch, I don't know if it's still on there or not, on Netflix. It's called Semper Fi. And it's actually a father that was actually a drill instructor there on Paris Island.
Uh-huh.
And came back and then spent time at Lejeune. Had his daughter and stuff and raised her. She was having all these problems. And where they come to find out, like when you watch the movie, they're going to talk about a place in Onslow County. It's called Babyland.
Okay.
What that is all the infants, stillborns, the miscarriages, any of the kids that died, and when they were toddlers.
Right.
They're all buried in this one spot in Onslow County.
And see, what's crazy is because I know some of the kids, POTS, EDS, MS,
Yes.
From ours. And then, like, I had a gentleman, Mike, on that he talked about, a lot of veterans are writing in talking about, their semen burning and stuff like that. So, I mean, who knows that part, if that was caused by this or that, but it's like, a lot of guys won't go to the doctor and tell their doctor that, but I mean, with the kids, I see the same issues my daughter's having that I had. As a matter of fact, when she was just at the doctor's office about 2 weeks ago in the hospital, and I told her word for word what exactly them doctors are gonna do. They're going to stick that tube up your nose. They're going to shove it down to your stomach, and they're going to tell you they can't find nothing. And that's exactly what they did. And she was like, "Was that tube really big?" I was like, "Man, I'll never forget that damn tube. Never in my life will I ever forget that tube." And you try to talk with it, oh, hell no.
Yeah.
But, I mean, so we're finding that stuff out, that our kids can be affected. And I do believe our kids are affected in some way. But also, when you were talking about the rollover.
Yes.
With your I mean, how far did that spread?
I mean, don't know. It just, with him, with him, he's actually had one physician go in and tell his wife that, he's at the beginning stages of Parkinson's. And all these other issues, and he's got a lot of issues.
Right. Man, that is so sad.
Yeah. She's kind of upset because they moved down here to the Charleston area because of the weather. See, they used to be up in Massachusetts, and the VA up there, he was fortunate enough, they took real good care of him. When they moved down here, they've had real bad problems, of getting in to get the care he needs. Like he's very claustrophobic. They're supposed to have him sedative taken to go for an MRI. Okay. He'll go in, they don't have his medications for him. Or if they do have medication, they don't have the right ones prescribed or not enough.
Wow.
And it's just one thing after another. Where, I'm going to the same facility and with the doctors and stuff, I'm saying, overall, I've been getting good care.
Right. To me, that is so amazing to me because, I mean, I talk to guys, I've talked to guys and I talk to gals. And what overall amazes me is we all have the same stuff. It may be a little bit different, but the neurological problems, the digestive system problems, everything. So I think what every veteran out there should do, get a hold of your congressman.
Yeah.
Tell them what's going on with you and say, hey, you know what? Go to these web pages. Go for illness. Go for illness discussion, babies and all that. Or go for parents. This podcast, any podcast or anything that has to do with Go For, start listening to them. I mean, hell, Ted Cruz can get his ass out there and do a
yeah.
podcast. He can listen. Come on here. Hey, Ted Cruz, get your ass on my show and come talk to us about it. That's how
Well,
I feel
that's
about
the
it.
thing. Like just recently, because of not to really change subjects, but like dealing with vaccine injuries. Like where they've got this big push, for these COVID vaccines.
Right.
Okay, they're saying they're safe. There's no problems. Guess what? Wrong. Actually, Senator Ron Johnson, he done a roundtable. It was November 1st, and he actually had some of the people there. He actually had some of the parents where their kids had died from taking those vaccines. One of the ladies that was on the panel, she was having neurological issues and stuff like that, trying to get it taken care of. And it's like, nobody will help them because of the thing of.
Yeah, I heard about the two kids.
Qualified immunity, from the manufacturers and for the government agencies, administering the vaccines.
Right.
They can't give you help.
And see, of course, I called my doctor, and that's that. You know what? I don't care if you're for it or against it.
Mm-hmm.
Ask your provider. Go in, say, hey, what do you think about me taking? And she told me, she said, Kevin, with the neurological problems you got, you need to go in. You need to get this shot.
Yeah.
Because let me tell you, I had COVID,
mm-hmm.
and my feet never burned. And I mean, it was like walking on pins and needles.
Yeah. Well, see, that's like the thing with the medication I'm on because of my MS.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have to wait for, if I want to go ahead and receive the booster, I could get it right now if I wanted to, but I opted to wait because of some of the side effects and stuff that I had from the 2 shots regimen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because here's something for you. I go in and have my blood work done about 2 weeks before I received my COVID vaccines. It's 2 weeks before I started my first one. Okay. And then got my first shot. Came back 3 weeks later, got my second COVID shot. Okay. A week later, I go in and have my blood work drawn again for more blood work. Okay. My blood work from, say, a month and a half earlier, that blood work, all my blood sugars and A1C and all that stuff came back normal. After the second one, my primary care provider and the tech went in and diagnosed me with diabetes, type 2 diabetes right there because of how high they were.
Yeah.
And I just now got them back to normal. It's like, okay, now you want me to take another shot? Wait a minute. Let's hold on.
Right. And then, and that's going back to the anthrax shot.
Yeah.
And this is where I'm going to go with the anthrax.
Mm-hmm.
In 98, DC Circuit courts decided to hear the case, and by the early 2000s said no more. You're not going to mandate them to the troops anymore. But I didn't realize that way back in the 50s, when they started them going, it seemed like they changed them up every freaking time. Yeah, I love your dog, and we're going to talk about that in just a second. And so when it got to us, it was still in the process of being changed again. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden they go back, and then they realize, no more giving it to it.
We're good.
Everything. Now, I just saw your dog. Tell everybody about your dog.
Okay. That's another story in itself. Okay. With the one friend I tell you about that had the rollover. See, he was actually one of his other diagnoses, he's actually diagnosed with PTS.
Yes.
I say PTS, besides, the PTSD, it's a post-traumatic syndrome, not just a post-traumatic disorder.
Right.
So they, a lot of us in that community is trying to deviate, saying it's not just an order, it's a syndrome.
Right.
Yeah. So, what it was is he actually has a trained service dog from an organization that trains service dogs for veterans, and other people, and they train them, for the specific needs of the individual. And this particular dog he has, it's named Oliver. It's a big English lab. Okay. When I first met the dog, his dog would come in, sit in my lap, want to get on my chest, and just, it was like he wanted right there with me the whole time. And it's like, what the hell? And then him and his wife both, they just looked at me, it's like, mm-hmm. Says, you need to go get checked. What do you mean? He says, yeah, you've got PTS. He said, that is what he's trained to do, to help alleviate those issues, with the elevated heart rate, the anxiety, and he picks up on, the chemical pheromones that, we let off, during those episodes. So they worked with me. And then during that time, I would also keep their other dog when they would go out of town. Well, the other dog also come in and saved my life one night. It actually, she actually woke me up from a deep sleep because I was having a very bad sinus infection. It's one of those where I would actually have the blood would be draining down my throat and everything, and it was starting to to coagulate and clog up my system and choke me out. So she actually came in and woke me up and got me up, and it's like, no, we're going to get you something now. So went with some organizations that we have in the area. They wanted to have a waiting period. Plus, then it was the place where I worked at wouldn't let me have one because the type of work I did, it would be too dangerous for the dog. And then and both the organization and my employer both agreed that no, it would be too dangerous for the dog for me to have a service dog, there at work. And then the organization wouldn't work with me. I said, I could have babysitters and stuff like that, where during that time, no, the dog has to be with you 24/7. So lo and behold, what happened, that didn't work out. So what they did, they happened to go to a local animal shelter in the area and found her. They knew all the stuff to look for, the temperament and everything like that. So they picked her out, had me come in and take a look at it. And says, yeah, we're looking at training another dog, to be a service dog and stuff for a vet. And asked me to actually keep her for 10 days for a quarantine period. Well, no, what that was actually a bonding period.
Right.
Yeah. And then when they said, hey, we got to take her back, and we start training her. So I was like, no, she's staying here with me.
Yeah.
That's
awesome.
Yeah. So they were like, they tried to play it off, but they finally admitted to it. No, it was actually for you. So they actually helped with the training with some of the tasks. What you seen right there was she seen where I was having some problems with my anxiety and stuff. So she came up and wanted to,
yeah, that is awesome.
Ground my attention and stuff.
I got a miniature Chihuahua, half terrier type dog. My daughter does. And I swear that dog could be a service animal because most lovable.
Yeah.
And then
there's a difference between the ESAs, the emotional support, and the service dogs. See, like with her, that is one of her work where she goes in and does the deep pressure therapy. See, like you didn't see it, but she'll come in and lay up on if I'm sitting down, she'll come in and lay up on my leg. She'll, come in and aggravate me a little bit, my face, to get me back grounded. But then she'll wake me up at night if I'm having my sleep disturbances, or if I'm having my bad dreams and stuff like that. She comes in and wakes me up.
Wow, that is fantastic. It's amazing what they can do.
And then I done the training. I went and put her through the AKC Good Canine Citizens Program, for the obedience. That way, work where she's got the socialization skills and the obedience training stuff where I can take her out in town and she can go places and say, like, for restaurants and things like that. A lot of people don't even know she's there until we get ready to leave. It's not like where you see some of the people, the ladies will come in with the little ankle biters. I call them the little yappy ankle biters.
I got one of them.
Yeah.
I got one.
But with her, she wouldn't even know it.
Wow.
Like when I go into the VA, she's actually welcome at the VA, and that's because of the VA Directive 1188 that pertains to service dogs. She's covered under the ADA, but it's a federal facility, so they got their own regulation stuff too. But if you go with the VA, if you read the VA Directive 1188, okay, that's dealing with the service animals,
right?
Certain things and stuff, where they can do is basically you can go into, basically anywhere the public can go, and then they can go into the doctor's office and stuff with you if they're not doing any procedures.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, and they can't go into like the OR or say like the radiology department.
Right. Right. Man, that is fantastic. Mm-hmm. And you know what better companion right there.
Yeah. But what's nice with her, she'll come in and like I'm sitting in there, and my neurologist can give me the neurological exam and everything like that, and she'll just lay right there. It's like, okay, she'll watch.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
Oh,
and she won't get up and bother him. And
that is awesome. Mm-hmm. Well, and and it's nice to hear. It's nice to hear that veterans who are being taken care of.
Well, the thing of it is, like, they've got a program, where they're helping vets, with they've got a project for the PTS service dogs.
Yeah.
Okay, but they're only allowing so many.
Okay.
Where it's not like, say, with the service dogs through the VA, they're not going to actually go in and provide you a service dog. You have to go in and have one. Apply for it and get, obtain it yourself.
Okay.
Okay. With the VA, okay, they got if it's for your physical disability, let's say, for your gaits, say your balance, your hearing, your vision. Okay. The VA will come in and give you, provide you with an insurance policy through True Companion, where that will cover all the veterinary care for the service dog.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Yes. There's a process you got to go through, to get that, but that's only, if it's for a physical disability. Okay. For us, with it being a psychiatric disability, okay, they will recognize the service dog and then help you with, the application process for the organization that you try to get one.
Okay.
Through, but it's still your full responsibility to provide all the care and upkeep for the dog. Okay. You do not get any kind of assistance like you do if it's for a physical disability.
Oh, okay. I see that. That. Now, getting into some more information.
Mm-hmm.
How many times were you out there? Did you go out there just one time at Desert Storm? Desert Storm, or did you go back?
That was my only deployment.
Okay.
Desert Storm. Yeah, with that, it was a big thing I dealt with. Like, one of my major events that happened was we actually had a scud that broke apart right before impact, and the main sections of the rocket scud landed about 100 to 100 yards off the bow of our boat. We actually had shrapnel that landed on our sister ship, the Curtis, that was docked just aft of us. We had pieces of shrapnel stuff land on our boat. Actually, like when I got back onto the boat, because when that happened, I was actually on the dock halfway between our ship and my sister ship, because I was on the way back when this happened. So I was actually dodging a lot of the shrapnel that was from when the Scud missile broke apart.
Wow.
Yeah, and they actually had and like one of the pieces in the main warhead landed about 150 yards off the bow of our boat, and close to the Polish medical ship that was docked forward of us. And actually, the piece that landed close to them gave a splash big enough where it actually drenched, gave the sentry on the Polish boat a bath.
Oh, dang. Dang. And see, and this is the stuff that a lot of people don't know about.
Yeah.
You know, they think that Desert Storm was just hey, we went in there, kicked ass, got out.
Mm-hmm.
No,
it's.
I mean, we were out
They
there.
don't talk about the air campaign that went, where we had all those much, staging. Then we had the air campaign part of it. Yeah, the ground war, on that part, the mechanized unit, that was only, 4 days.
Right. And then with us, being out there, well, we were out there well before.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my shipmates is on listening to this, but we were out there well before, and we were about to head back before the war started.
Yeah.
And then we were told, hey, we got to stay back out there because the 2 ships that were supposed to come out there to help supply, they decided to go through a typhoon, and so they got fortunate and didn't have to go out at that time. Yeah. And so,
see, like one of the things that I dealt with, when I said, with that Scud missile that landed, next to us.
Right.
See, for about 3.5 days afterwards, they had to wait for the rocket fuel, the red fuming formic acid, to go ahead and leach out and escape. And those vapors from that actually blew back onto our boat.
Woo.
For 3 days.
Mm.
So, here it is, we've got those exposures on top of all of our other chemical weapon exposures.
Yeah. See, that's just so amazing. We were just so exposed to so much stuff. But now it is coming out to light. More people are getting aware of it. More people are understanding. But it's not enough.
No. The big thing that's helped is, I've mentioned his name several times, during our discussion, was Jim Brown.
Right.
And you're familiar with him also.
Yes.
Some of his page, he's kind of kidding around and says, yeah, I'm the little document elf.
Yeah.
He's went and posted so much stuff that he's, either, he was personally able to get while he was in service, or he got it through FOIA requests.
Right.
Yeah, and that's like what I mentioned at the beginning today, with what I mentioned about, our uniforms and clothing, of the stuff that was put into those.
Well, I tell you what, I mean, I want to thank you so much for enlightening me. There was stuff I didn't hear, I didn't even know about until I was talking to you. I was like, what the, but it's enlightening because it seems like everybody who I talk to, everybody has a different story.
Yeah.
But same results.
Yeah. Well, that's like the thing with Bell. See, I don't know. Let's see what time we got. Yeah, it's getting close. Got a little bit. Yeah, with Jabel, I had to go look at the time. See, one of the other things that, it's known and it's recorded. We were actually, a confirmed biological chemical agent attack. And it was known. They said it was an unknown blister agent.
Wasn't it mustard gas?
That was mustard gas.
Okay. Yeah.
And what that was, I kind of put 2 and 2 together because we had an incident when you go in and look at the Regal report. Yeah, that's where they've done a big breakdown of all the stuff that happened. And the Port of Jebel, one of this was called the Purple T-shirt incident.
Okay.
Yeah, and what that was is, they had an airplane that came through on an Iraqi aircraft and had dusty agent and chemicals and a modified drop tank, and they were spraying the area. And they actually chased it out to sea and shot it down. They found the other prototype later on. But yes, we actually got that area, Port of Jebel, got sprayed, and then during that time, and then what they did was to help alleviate the mustard gas or the blister agent or whatever they want to call it. they released ammonia gas into the port to dissipate the.
Well, ain't that sweet of them?
Okay, yeah, I was actually on guard duty that night because one thing I seen the cloud that was coming through. It was either from when the stuff got sprayed or when they went and released the ammonia into the port. And then a few days later, come through. Hey, we got some new uniform. Go ahead and give us a uniform. Where you got those splotches. Yeah, we'll take and get rid of those for you.
No, ain't that amazing? We're not going to tell you why, but hey, this uniform looked better on you.
They took all of our uniforms and gave us brand new uniforms.
That does amaze me, though. I mean, it does. It literally amazes me that, but back then as 19-year-old kids, everybody will tell you, you sure in the hell didn't think about, why am I getting these new uniforms? But you look back now going, well, damn, now I know why. That is crazy.
And yeah, I found that out, and I found out a lot of this information, from the last 5 to 6 years. I really didn't start checking into a lot of it until, after I got diagnosed with MS.
But that's also what happened in Bahrain. He flew helicopters over, and he made this makeshift ship fan that would blow out the chemicals and slowly release it out. Now, I read about that. And so, yeah, it's amazing. I mean, hey, we can all say Saddam was an idiot. Just to let all y'all know. But, I mean, he wasn't that dumb.
No.
He may not have been able to get us right then and there, but as time goes, he's getting us.
Yeah.
Keep in touch with us and let us know how everything's going, especially with the MS.
Okay.
And everything. But I surely appreciate everything that you've done. But, Jay, thank you.
Welcome.
It's awesome, man. I appreciate you coming on.
Welcome.
All right. Thank you, buddy.
All right. Welcome. All right. Bye.
Bye. Y'all, please go to my website at goal4sideeffects.wordpress.com or email me at kevinsimon@goal4sideeffects.com. And please help support this podcast and the veterans by clicking on the link below. Thank you for your support.